1981 first-round pick, earned All-American honors at Pitt, and a member of the College Football Hall of Fame, football analyst and commentator Mark May, now on ESPN 620.
All right, let's get on record. Score of the game.
Picking Notre Dame, 28-27.
It's Ohio State together at the Mountain.
Making Mike's Hall.
Champions of college football.
Hey, how you doing today?
Hey, what's up, Mark? How you doing, buddy?
I'm still in mourning, guys. I hit all the sharp instruments in the kitchen and make sure they were put away because the way that Notre Dame fought back gallantly at the end of that game. But Ohio State is the best team money can buy. They set a new precedent in college football, and guess what? This is the blueprint for the future. Until they change this and put up guardrails, whoever has the most money wins.
You know, it was 31-7 midway through the third quarter. They blew them out. Come on. It wasn't even a game. I was switching over to the inauguration because, you know, I was like, this game's over. Come on, why couldn't they please
Notre Dame to begin the game, and Riley Leonard.
Then what happened?
Because he gave his all. And the bottom line is, yes, Ohio State came back. They should have. When you've got 15 five-star players on your roster and your opponent has 0, what do you expect the outcome to be?
Well, why didn't you say that going in? Why didn't you say that going in? No, you were all over the Fighting Irish. You said they were going to win.
I was all over the Fighting Irish, and I did say that Notre Dame has 15 five-star players, and Ohio State has 15 five-stars, and Notre Dame has none. I did say that the other day. But the bottom line is, you've got to respect Notre Dame the way they fought back. They could have folded. It could have been a blowout. At least they made it a game towards the end of the game. And without that Jeremiah Smith at the end of the game, that big pass, that big explosion play to get them another field goal, that game's in jeopardy at the end. That could have gone to overtime.
Yeah, what the hell was Alec Golden, the defensive coordinator, thinking that 3rd and 13, you got him backed up, you're bringing the house, you're going to go man-to-man on the kid outside? What was he thinking on that, Mark?
He's thinking about going to Cincinnati and getting that big contract with the Bengals. That's where he just signed with, wasn't it? Or was that someplace else?
I couldn't believe they were going zero coverage with that kid. It's, you just hold them, they punt it, you get a chance to get the ball back and go down, 2-point conversion, you tie it up.
And the other thing is, you just saw the blueprint before when Texas played them. Texas played zone. They made sure safety was over the top.
Yes.
And that was the way that they really contained Jeremiah Smith. And in this game, they didn't do that. He's always been a man-to-man coverage defensive guy and cover 0. And it's like, you know what? If you've got the athlete to do that, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But if the other athletes on the other side of the ball are more dominant than your players, you can't do that.
All right, so let's kind of looking forward. Rumors have it that Jeremiah Smith is being offered to go to the portal by whomever for the tune of $4.5 million. And also, does Ohio State have to pony up another 15 to 20 to keep a lot of these guys around? You and I and Rock have talked about policing this entire fiasco, if you will. How's that information? I'm sure the back channels are saying, hey, look, if you come here and here. But that was leaked. Doesn't the NCAA see something leaked like that, have to get more control? Can they even get control of something like this?
No, the NCAA is toothless. They're worthless. We all know that. They're on their way out. In 3 years, they probably won't even be around except for the March Madness and Olympic sports. And the bottom line is college football is just going to overtread them and just say, you know what, we're done with you. Goodbye. We're going to control ourselves. These are our rules. These are our parameters. These are our guardrails. We don't need you. And the thing about Jeremiah Smith, yeah, I put into the Pitt Collective. Yeah, we went after Jeremiah Smith. Yeah, we offered him $4 million. Maybe we'll kick it to $5 million. Guess what, guys? Because I'm getting my money out of Rock and Manouche because Kansas State can't play with the big boys, and I want my cash.
I know. Well, our quarterback had to go to big boy ball in order to go ahead and win an Addy and get paid for it.
That's true. That's why he went to Ohio State. But the thing is, you look at this Ohio State team, 2 great coordinators on both sides of the ball. They've got terrific players on both sides of the ball that are going to the NFL, 2 deep at running back. At wide receiver, they're 3 deep. You look at the quarterback, Will Howard's probably going to get drafted like in the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th round. This is a team that's loaded. We knew that they were loaded. They just had a couple hiccups, one at Oregon at Austin Stadium. Tough to win there. And one against Michigan that they just can't get over the hump against Michigan. They lost 4 in a row. But the bottom line for you Ohio State Buckeyes fan, cherish this. You're national champions, but you still can't beat the Michigan Wolverines.
Who cares? It doesn't matter. You won the national championship.
That's all they care about. They don't care about that team up north.
Oh, come on.
You know what? It's good because I can get to rub it in again. I've got another year to rub it in that Michigan beat you for the 4th year in a row.
Oh, my gosh. All right, let's turn the page. Let's talk about something that –
Okay, we'll move on. I'll let it go. It's just one of those things, guys, that's like, you know what? They've been giving me the business for years. Give them their flowers. They won a national championship. I really respect them. They've done a terrific job, and applause to them.
All right, A to Z, the roster of the Philadelphia Eagles is clearly better than the Washington Commanders. Now, granted, this is a great story. I love what Jaden Daniels is doing, but as you kind of not necessarily handicap this, but as you be an analysis of this game, how do you kind of predict this without your heart being a former Washington Redskin? Or you can't do
Bottom
that?
line, when you look at this game, it all comes down to injuries, particularly at this point in the season.
Fair.
How injured is Jalen's hurt knees?
Yeah.
How bad is that injury to his knee? Can he go 4 quarters? Can he run the football? Because if he can't run the football and they're one-dimensional and they have to hand it off and throw it, they're going to stack the box. Because when you look at the way that they played this team, and their great running back, Saquon Barkley, had almost 300 total yards against them in 2 games. Bottom line is he's hot, and he's had 324 yards in the playoffs, and he's averaging over 6 yards per carry. So you've got to stop him first and foremost. But if Jalen Hurts can't run the ball, they will stack the box. And if he gets injured in this game, because their defensive coordinator for the Commanders has already said, we're going to treat him like a running back, we're going to get physically after him, we're going to hit him as much as we can. If he goes out of the game and Kenny Pickett comes into the game, it's all over for the Eagles. Even though they've got a better roster, they've got better depth, and you look at this team, they're nicked up on the offensive line at guard and center and in the defensive secondary. So that's a plus for the Commanders at this point. But the same thing about the Commanders. Cosme, their best offensive lineman, the right guard, he got injured and blew his knee out, so he's out, and he's not going to play in this game. But the thing is, guys, when you look at all 4 of these teams, this may be the first time ever in NFL history that I can remember either playing or calling games that all 4 teams in the NFC and AFC championship games have never turned the ball over. That's amazing.
That is crazy.
That just doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's incredible. And you look at this Commanders team too, Mark. You followed this team. Were there some, along with Dan Quinn coming in and Cliff Kingsbury's offensive coordinator, were there some key components, key ingredients? I know picking up Bobby Wagner in the offseason, were there some key components or key ingredients that might have led you to believe that a rookie quarterback could lead this team in the NFC Championship game?
Yes, it came down to Cliff Kingsbury and the way that he runs his offense. Even though you saw it here with the Arizona Cardinals, this is a guy with the worst front office and the worst team and the worst facilities, because that's been out there noted by the NFLPA that they are the worst facility, the worst team. They take care of their players the worst in the NFL. They're in the bottom 3 basically. He took this ragtag bunch to the playoffs. Yeah. And the bottom line, if you're an NFL owner, you're looking and saying it's like, that's one of the worst.
Oh, 2.5 left.
He took that team to the playoffs, even though they lost. We have to consider him for a head coaching job. And if he doesn't get it this year, he'll get it next year. But the ingredient was Kingsbury getting along with Jaden Daniels. That's the quarterback that he wanted in the draft. That's the quarterback that he got. Hey, kudos to Dan Quinn. He's a guy that, they brought in, and it was one of those things where nobody thought he was going to be that successful. Because, yes, he got Atlanta to the Super Bowl, but they were a 4-touchdown lead in the second half, blew that, and lost. And the last time we saw Dan Quinn in the playoffs with the Dallas Cowboys, they gave up 100 points to the Green Bay Packers, the youngest team in 50 years to make the playoffs. So you're looking at that resume, and you're looking at that no other teams were bringing him in for interviews, but the Commanders did. They brought him in. The smartest thing he did is he hired Cliff Kingsbury, and they drafted Jaden Daniels, and things went off in the offense, and everything's clicked. And so far, so good. Things are going in the right direction. They still have a chance to win this game. They're a 6-point underdog, guys, but they've always been underdogs through the second half of the season and found ways to win. So don't count them out if this game is close, particularly in the fourth quarter.
So what do the Bills have to do to beat the Chiefs in a playoff format, not a regular season format, where I think Josh Allen's 4-0 regular season and 0-3 in the playoffs. So what's the ingredient that's going to have to happen for the Bills to beat the Chiefs in Kansas City?
One, the team.
1 minute. You guys are good to wrap after.
The city is winning close games. They set an NFL record by 1-score wins. And the Buffalo Bills, during the regular season, they own the Chiefs. In the playoffs, the Chiefs own the Bills. So it's going to come down to quarterback play in this game. And, yeah, it's going to be up to the offensive line. It's going to be every position. But the team that doesn't make that big mistake. I already said that none of these 4 teams had made a turnover in the playoff series. If the first team that makes that turnover can capitalize on that situation, they're going to have a huge advantage over the next team. So if Buffalo gets a turnover and goes down and score, that's a huge advantage for the Bills, and vice versa for Kansas City. But this is one of those games that the Bills have to get that monkey off their back, and this may be the year. They're running the ball with Cooks in the backfield and doing a terrific job there and setting everything up. Their offensive line's been terrific, but I'm just worried about the injuries at their offensive line and their defensive secondary in this game against the Chiefs. The Chiefs had 8 sacks in that game in their last game against the Texans. That's one of the things that Buffalo has to be wary of protecting their quarterback.
Clear right.
The thing about him is he's not afraid to take that ball down and run and get first down to move the chains.
So Philly and KC, right? Is that what you said?
That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for Philly and the Bills.
There you go. That boy, Mark May. There you
Then I
go.
catch him off guard there.
Circling the wagons, the Buffalo Bills.
Good stuff. Mark, we love having you on, man. Thanks for making some time for us. We appreciate it. I heard.
One last thing.
Okay.
Where's my Mile in the High Club guy? Where's Jimmy B today?
Oh,
He doesn't work on Fridays. He's he lives in Sun Lake, so they have like the bingo or something on Friday.
the Mile High Club guy.
Don't you remember?
I remember.
A couple years ago, he came up with the story of the Mile High Club.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Jimmy B's my Mile High Club.
That's awesome. Oh, we love you, Mark. Thanks, buddy. Have a good weekend.
All right, guys. You too. Adios.
Mark May joining us here. You can follow him on X at Mark_May. All right, coming up, we'll have our Learner Row one call. That's all. I'll tell you what's on tap as we finish up here at Wright Toyota. It's Rockin' Minute with Jimmy B on ESPN 620.